been downloading some really interesting stuff. You know, she doesn't put out. I should preface this by saying that I've known Shekina since the when was it? Probably would be about a year and a half, going on 2 years, and we're very tight. Um, she's a beautiful Blu-ray star seed. That's the straight up truth. We spent some time in Sedona together 2 or 3 times. We've collaborated. So we've had trouble, you know, as far as the suppression with the algorithms at Facebook. And if you could share this to your page or to one group, that'd be great. And then also, you know, we want to just thank you for the love and support and contributions. It's been very sporadic because we haven't been broadcasting, but we just want you to know that it wouldn't be possible without you. All right, so here comes Shekina. I know you don't want to look at me and hear me all day. Let's get something that looks better.
So this energy right now, Todd, is wow. I don't know how you're feeling this, but this is really affecting us on a lot of levels. This is a really monumental time right now, this energy right now. And I put a channel out about it, and I have something on YouTube about it. It's so deep and it's so powerful, and it is getting us to a really powerful, deep space, more of our core essence. It's very emotional. It's very sensitive. We're able to, right now, we're so able to feel the inner dimensions. Things are coming up that normally wouldn't, like really, really deep things. For a lot of us who are sensitive, it's to, in a certain aspect, it's really wonderful. Like, it's been really wonderful for me to, because it's like the energies are like in my sign. This is how I am. I am so deep, so spiritual, so connected to the inner dimensions. But it's also hitting people. It's really bringing up some real deep, deep stuff. So for other people, and so this is a good time for, you know, channeling and meditation and revising all these things, and the information is coming. But it's also hitting people deeply, and bringing up issues like sadness and intensity. And so right before I got on, there was a person who said that they wanted to commit suicide, and with drugs, and they put it on my page. So for me, that's a person reaching out for help, okay? And that also shows I'm also really sensitive. I'm like a little bit more sensitive than I normally am about any little thing. I'm a little, I'm surprised. I'm like, wow, I'm feeling like, oh, you know, soft on that subject. But it's also this time that our hearts and the true essence of the power of the love and the compassion that we are, the true essence, our core true, is being amplified. Pisces is, in its highest, is unity, spirituality, and love, and compassion, and sensitivity, and connection, awakening. And so, and we're going in, and we're in that Pisces Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. It's going through both of the signs. So Aquarius is, you know, the new age, and it's service and it's unity again. So I felt like, because, and also because we could utilize our connections. I mean, we got to utilize our. You were talking about, you know, people are getting together now, and the groups and the connections, the partnerships, you know, to be on the mission together. So we are on the mission together. Basically, we are all on the mission together. I see you bringing in different people, Todd, that I haven't seen before and on your show. And I think it's really important that you do and that you showcase these people.
She's a jewel, isn't she? Um, but she put up a post. I'm going to ask her about it. She put up a post a couple of days ago. But before I go there, I just want to say that what she's saying about these feelings of sadness. This happened to Morgan a couple of times in the last 3 days, right before we went to bed. A couple of her friends said the same thing. This was last night. I think there was at least two of them, maybe three of them besides her. Uh, it seems like this month, and going back to the conversation with Vera Ingeborg, and then what I just told you that there's been a lot of Allison Ingle mentioned it. There's been a lot of processing, it seems, through the female's body for some reason, whatever reason that is, I don't know. We just convey these things so that they might assist other people. Um, but can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
got you.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just telling when you went off, I was telling people that this whole thing about the sadness. Number one, in the movies, these aren't movies. In the shows this month, there's been several women that have come on talking about how their intel was that something's being processed collectively through typically the female body, and there's been different theories on it or whatever. But that's and again last and then the sadness. Uh, I know with Morgan it occurred twice in the last week, and then last night we were just, I think it was last night, or maybe no, it was the night before, and we were watching movies, and right 10 minutes before the movie's over, she just got really sad. Now, yesterday she talked to I think two friends, maybe three, and they all had the same thing happening to them, this sadness, and it felt very collective. And
Yes.
I don't remember everything about what you wrote about 2 or 3 days ago. You don't write a whole lot. When you write, you always seem to have some really not just good intel, but it's also pretty wide ranged intel, even when we talk on the shows. But Morgan showed it to me. Your post was very much in line with what she had written about and what she was experiencing. I know Amanda Lawrence was pretty much the same thing. I remember Jessica
Mhm,
Woods, pretty
mhm,
much the same thing. But I don't know if you want to
mhm.
go back to that point or whatever you want to talk about. It's fine. But at some point, I'd love to kind of go over that post that you put out because you had a lot of good information in there, including, and I'll just add this too, people this month, men and women on this show, talking about how the elementals are excited. They've been waiting for this. They're ready to connect. People having interaction with them. They're becoming they're becoming more part of our experience
Yes,
now, and as well as the animals and the nature beings. So go ahead.
absolutely. Um, the yes, so we're in deep sadness clearing, and I want to work with the devas because the devas are right here, and the devas started talking to me and expressing to me yesterday, preparing me for today, because the devas were saying exactly that, and they were saying that um, who they were and how they're so connected to human systems of life, of our ecosystems, and they're part of our bloodline. And it's really, I think, important that we reawaken and we remember them, because without them, we will, without their connections, we're going to steer down a whole different kind of path. That's what's going to happen, because they kind of hold everything together on this earth plane, on the interdimensional realm. They work with the group consciousness. They work with that. They work with the energies. They transmute energies. They also deliver what needs to be delivered from us as a collective. They're orchestrators. They work with us. What we do, what our consciousness is, what we feel, how we're treating things, those energies, they have to take those energies and do things with those energies to to have all these different things that happen, like fires and floods and all these different things. It's like those are like this is outlets of who the consciousness of humanity. Working with them is really important, and some of us are really remembering that. And the crystals are kind of awakening even more on the earth collectively, and working with the crystals again, and being understanding about the crystals. And I think that's why the crystals came to me, is to work with them, because they work with the crystal grid of the all of the lights. And yesterday they were talking about the crystals, and they were all these special crystals from Sedona, and they were also talking about Mejia. Wahia, did you play Wahia? This
What is?
from the
Oh
the,
no,
the
no.
song,
I played.
the song.
I played the other one. I was going to save Wahia, and we can play it anytime you want to. I got it ready.
Okay, Wahia is so special. Now Wahia is the first. It's these Wahia means that is their sonic tonal language that they gave me.
This is
Wahia.
the Devas, the Divas,
Yes,
Davis,
yes, this is
Davis.
the Davis. And the Wahia means really watered down in our earth language is we are here. And it also means that the divine presence of the elementals, the divine servers of life, their presence is amongst you, and we are here. It's it's but it's a tonal sonic vibrational language, Wahia. And that song, that language of light song, Wahia, came through me, and I had no idea that I was going to sing that. I had no idea that I was going to sing language, but it came, straight from them through me. And that's the first song that has gone to radio.
Really?
The first language of song that Tim chose and saw was important, and that song got remastered, so now it can go out to the world. So it's going out to the world. So that's
Wow.
that's what Tim and I together collectively.
Your partner, and I was kind of there when y'all met, and
Yes.
Tim is a music producer, for many years, successful years too. And so I knew that he had mastered and produced and assisted you in getting radio play on one of your harmonic light language songs. I didn't
Yes.
know it was that particular song. And then
Yes.
the second thing I'll say too. Now we had a show yesterday, and a lot of people know Ron and Michael James Garber. They've been in a partnership for quite a while, as long as I've known them, and they've been really cool because they've come on a couple of times and been very transparent and talked about the good and the bad, you know, talked about everything. But one of the
Mm-hmm,
things that
mm-hmm.
that Michael said yesterday that really struck home, and the same thing's happening with you and Tim. He said, no matter what happens, no matter how it's going, whether we're in balance or we're not in balance occasionally, every day we get up because we have a purpose and a mission together. So they travel, all over the world, and they do grid work and go to sacred sites and do ceremony. And I think that's just an important
Mm-hmm.
characteristic of 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 unions, is that there is a mutual mission, and that's a big part of that's aligned and just as much a part of the relationship as everything else, including that core connection. Because you're right, because like we were told, be together, love each other, and broadcast. And so yours is like, be together, love each other, and make music. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh, it's amazing. I mean, I never thought I do the language of light. I never thought. I just thought that would be a lone journey.
Hmm.
And we just completely line up. We completely line up with this. Tim had to go through a massive awakening to connect into the language of light, and it, awakened him. We both had to go through massive clearing before we
Yeah.
could even, be together. And so the Mejia is the first song that has been played in the world on New Age radio that's the
Wow.
language of light. And
Wow.
actually has the frequency in it. And it's really exciting to me. My prayers years ago, my prayers have been, on and on and on for many years. My prayers were always, please, let the language of light, let the frequency have a greater place in this world. At least allow it so that people could find it, like really find it, like where they can find hip hop music or they can find rock music.
Hmm.
Let them have it in the world, so at least there's a space for it, that it's out there in the world and that the people can find it. And and that's starting to happen.
Yeah.
And the first song that came through to go out to the world was from the fairies, from the
How did
devas.
how did that happen? Were you out on the land? Because I know you go to the land really every day. Were you just started channeling, or did you have a tape recorder with you the first take, or how did that happen?
I think I heard you.
I broke up.
It was a combination. It was a combination of a few different things. I became with the crystals, the white light crystals. I've got two. I got two crystals in my hand. They're these are pretty amazing. These are the angel wing crystals.
I saw
The,
that. I saw a picture of those on Facebook today. I was wondering about those.
the They came from here. They're the twin flame. They're one. They came from one, and they split apart. They're neat. They're so beautiful. They're so incredible, and they're amazing healers. So it happened with the crystals because when the crystals came a couple of years ago, the devas started communicating with me through the crystals, and the devas are with me all the time with the crystals. And every time, they know that they have a steward and they have a mission on this planet. So
Mm.
when they unearth and they show me who they are on the land, I pick them and say thank you, and you're gonna have a mission and a purpose in this world. But they're so strong in my field, because I'm working with them all the time. And because of that also, uh I had a Deva angel embody me. I had that
Mm.
experience, and changed me and shifted me. And actually, I've been asking for another one because it was incredible. It was when Kimberly and I were doing an event at the Cosmic Awakening, uh, the full house. I mean, jam packed. David Wilcock was there, so it was standing room only, jam packed. Kimberly and I were on stage, and we kind of have a little bit of setup of what we know we're going to do, and then all of a sudden, I had an angel, a Dava angel, embody me, went through my body, and started singing through me these incredible tones.
Wow.
But what happened is that changed me. I was changed after that. I was so connected to them. I saw everything differently. I thought I was connected to nature before.
Hmm.
it was it was so increased. So I think it's this progression of, my own being, because I think
Yeah.
my own being is that my Devic fairy self is like that part of me. is lightning again and reconnecting with, you know, the elements and the crystals and the alchemy of life. And they sang through me. You know, one day that's how it happens. This song, but it was Mejia, and it kept coming up, you know, over and over, Mejia. and I didn't really even know what Mejia meant until later,
And
because
Wahia means we are here. Is that right?
yeah, and it's like it's kind of likened to, you know how 444 is the sign of the angels.
Yes.
Mejia is a sonic entrance opening that the presence of the devas are with you and receiving you and working with, and it's like they're opening their invitation to work with you. Yes, I get that. So that's why that song is, or that, because that was a transmission, an actual transmission got professionally done and out, it's out on the radio. And Tim is working to you know, get it out, you know, on a larger way, because that song has a frequency in it, and it has, Wahia is like a portal connection. It's a transmission, a language of light transmission opens our connection to part of who we are and our divinity in alignment with Mother Earth and all of those divine realms of nature. I mean, because we forget unbelievably that we're nature.
Yeah.
We're nature. We're nature too. We're humankind. But what is humankind? Takes in the air, takes in the star essence from the foods that we eat. Hopefully, things are changing because the genetically altered manipulation of the food, which is not good for us at all. It genetically alters us. We're going to become genetically altered humans when we intake all of this genetically altered food that is foreign to our true essence. So we are nature. We are nature. We're the air. Air breathes. We're only alive through nature, through Mother Earth, and through the elements of life and the devas. The devas are continuously, you know, working in the sylphs. They're continuously working to help us, to help
The
us
devas,
with.
the devas and the sylphs. Did I say it right? Those are variations of fairies, of fays. Is that right? Are they? Are they?
And that they're in that community, they're in that kingdom, they're in that realm, I would say. But um the devas and the sylphs are a bit high, almost higher beings. They're
Kind of like a
more of a,
kind of like off-planet angelic elemental level versus planetary elemental, maybe something like that.
yes, the more what I've experienced is pure beings. And like a fairy, what would be, you know, fairies are real, and I'm a fairy. I am definitely a fairy and an angel. And you know, we have more bodies, like real bodies. And the devas are a little bit different. I had a deva, a blue deva, come to me in physical form and sing to me,
Wow.
and it was
A day in the life of Shekina Rose.
it's gonna make me cry because it was so,
Yeah.
it was it was such a pure experience to have a pure being in front of you who is a complete, it's like complete purity. It's hard to describe a being who's just pure and sings to me tone, because because it's they're so pure
Yeah.
and divine, and and that shifted me. But this being was it wasn't like a fairy who had a body. It was like roundish. It was like a oblong round a color, like a color, a light blue color. um but it seemed like she had lips because she was singing these tones to me. So,
Well, that's fascinating.
but we that's a divinity, and that's a power. you know the indigenous people, okay, they were connected to the elements and the sorcerers, the source of life.
Hmm.
uh the Native Americans here that used to be here, the indigenous people in Australia and all over the place, and in Africa, you know we come from that. Or back in Ireland, back in the Europe, when we were more connected with those type of elementals, those elements. That's real, and that's like that's coming online again, because that's really, really important. We we are that. Again, we are that. We are the stars.
Yeah.
We are the earth. We are part of the earth. And that is so important. And so much can happen as we're reunited, that we won't, because we have been, as we all know, that's why we're awakening, because we were steering away.
Yeah.
That's why we came. That's why we're here, because humanity as a whole was steering away from the course, was steering away from the divine plan. And divine plan, ascension, our true essence, call it, back to peace, harmony, and love, and consideration, and care for the planet, and being connected. Because that's why the Blu-ray beings, that's why they are ultra sensitive empaths. Unusual.
No.
That's the thing that's unnormal. True human is empathic and sensitive to its environment, and therefore able to go into all the different dimensions, because we are dimensional beings. And
Exactly.
empath sensory awareness allows us to connect to the different realms and dimensions. And that's not something unusual or amazing. That is something that we are, our divine original blueprint. Being
Natural.
to be exactly and connected to the earth and our food, that is normal, and that is natural, because when we're not, then we put food in our body, we put stuff in our body that we don't care what it's going to do to us, how it's going to affect us. We don't care about our environment. We don't care about cutting down a tree. We don't care about cutting down a whole rainforest. Who cares, as long as we can continue to consume and to be prosperous, financially, however, whatever. So that's why we do those things. And it's kind of, you know it's not almost like how I feel. It's not even really a judgment to all of humanity, or the vast humanity who does that, because they just got cut off, that's all.
Yeah.
They got
There's no,
disconnected from
there's,
who they were.
yeah, nobody did anything wrong. We were just,
Yeah.
it was something we went through. I wanted to ask you something about, specifically about the post that you put up a couple of days ago.
Hmm.
Um, because other women were, were expressing the same thing, I think, pretty close to what you were saying, but, um, and it's on
Hmm.
the first part of it. It says what you wrote was that there was an increase of goddess psychic energy, and your post is about how it affects. And the other part that kind of jumped out too was, it says the goddess energy is revitalizing in a new way, giving you an expanded foundation to be sustained, seen, and heard.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
so,
mhm.
for me, from what I observed and experienced with Morgan, which would have been the first part of the month, like between the say the 5th and the 15th or 18th, which was a time for 9 days. We actually were separated for the first time in almost a year
Oh,
because we knew that we had to do whatever needed to be done alone. So, but
oh,
my point is,
yeah.
what was that? It seemed like the divine feminine, the mother goddess energy, really stepped
Mm,
up
mhm.
once and for all, and it brought a lot of, uh, I don't want to say, well, I guess stress or uncomfortableness onto the human body, and that's why I was saying earlier, there were women saying that there was intel coming out that a lot of it was being processed, particularly through the female body. So, can you just kind of let us know what does that mean that the psychic abilities of the goddess energy, coming in and being showered onto to the earth? What does that mean? Is it a direct connection to the divine feminine expansion and stepping into her full power?
Absolutely. And that's why I wanted the goddess was so close, and we're still in it. Now, the energy is going to change because planetarily, again, we're affected by the planets
Hmm.
and the stars. It's like we're affected by the sun. The sun comes up every day and we have night. Of course, that's a star. We're
Yeah.
affected by these stars and these planets. And so this energy is lending itself to that sacred divine feminine and that goddess energy because the energies are not always favorable or supporting those particular energies, you see. And now it is. And I feel it's such an opportunity. And so that's why I wanted to make sure that I got that information out, and especially to the Blu-rays, because I know how sensitive they are. And I know that they get it. And I know that they're feeling it. And they may feel a variations of feelings because, sometimes that sensitivity hits on some. Take the time. I mean, I'm taking the time and to to be able, this energy is going to continue to the first week of March. So
Mm.
we're in it now, and it's going to continue the first week of March. Because after like the second week of March, the energy is going to shift, and it's going to be everything that we've gotten during this time that has supported us, supported the sacred divine feminine, more of the core essence of what we need to do. We're going to start putting that into action now, because this is not a time to put things into action.
That
Because,
this is going to run until the first week of March.
yes,
And it sounds to me like what you were saying is there's more information coming in. This is not the time to really implement anything,
hmm,
but that time is coming, I guess, in March,
yes,
which kind of aligns with what Morgan and I have been talking about as well. But
yes,
I still see this, at least from what you're saying and what I picked up. It has a lot to do, or it's more meaningful or impactful on typically the feminine, physical incarnated, the divine feminines in the female body. Not necessarily all of them, I guess, but I mean, I'm just saying that seems to be a big deal. So it sounds like, from what you're saying, and correct me or change it or whatever, that there's going to be a real presence of the divine feminine taking, let's just call it physical actions or 3D actions in the world, uh, beginning this next month. Is that right? Is that how you feel?
absolutely. And through this year, this is for me so significant because I can't really remember when I experienced this, where the sacred divine feminine and the goddess and Venus, like Venus, I can feel Venus, her that influence is right there. Close my eyes, be open, there it is. there is this incredible energy. And so it's like such an opportune time. It's like, because if you just go through it, and I love what you and Morgan did. If you just like go through it and don't take the time, you may not necessarily get all the information. I've been taking time to be still, and the veils are so thin too. There's times on our planets when the veils are thin, and usually we say that like at Halloween, different times of the solstice, different things like that. But what I'm experiencing is that the veils are so thin. I was just sitting and being in meditation. I'm trying to be as open and connecting as possible, because I am shifting. But now I'm getting it, because I'm being open. I was able to you can talk to your loved ones that have crossed over. I had a person who had crossed over a long time ago, and just like came in. And I'm not necessarily a medium like that.
Yes.
And we were just I knew it was her. We were communicating. She was sharing things with me. We were connecting. And so it's such an opportune time. And I feel that, yes, it's supersonic. I think what I'm feeling is goddess, sacred feminine energy. I mean, I love reveling in it because it's kind of like my energy, although super sensitive. But I also see it's not just affecting us, the women or who are in the sacred divine feminine. What I'm seeing is it's also affecting the men.
Yeah.
This energy is also affecting the men, and it's affecting them deeply. And it's affecting their sacred divine feminine aspects, and where they need their feminine wounds are, their mother wounds, relationship wounds, feminine wounds, being in relationship, and it can be confusing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna become feminine.
Yeah.
And I want to say this: you're not gonna become more feminine. It's like that repressed energy that needs to come up, because you are going to have to take action in your life.
Yeah.
It's telling you this needs to take action in your life with the feminine, and whatever the feminine is in your life, and your inner feminine, your inner feminine, your inner masculine. It's what I feel. It's helping for us to be in more harmony, the sacred masculine and the divine feminine, for us to be in more harmony, because the you men, wonderful men out there, have to do that. You have to do the sacred divine feminine work within your own self, and the outer reflections that's coming to you, and do that work, so that you can be stronger in relationship, and that you can be more supportive to your feminine, and so your feminine can be more open to you, and feel more that she can be open to her masculine, her sacred masculine, and work with them, and not be, how us women, we have been really, really alone. We've been really alone on this journey. And so this is just such a beautiful thing. The Devas are loving what I have to say. They're coming in, and I hope at one point we get to do some kind of energy connection, because this is such a powerful time. So did I answer you, Todd?
Yeah. And it's funny because doing what I do, it's like I get to put together, and from my own space, from my own expansion and contemplation, I get to put together all the things that I'm exposed to. And one of the things that you just said that I think is important is you said, you were glad to hear that Morgan and I took the time to do this, and that you do that yourself, and that you made the comment, in other words, don't just rush through it. Take the opportunity, because I think about what Franco Di Nicola, we just talked to him a couple of days ago, and he said there's a lot of things available to us right now for a period of time. And I think that's important, because I think what happens is energy or code or light transmissions or whatever are made available. It doesn't mean everybody gets them. You kind of got to be, you got to be diligent and aware and working, working towards that, which I know most of us are doing that, if not all of us are doing that. But I think that's a good point. It just doesn't happen, by magic. I mean, it is magic, but it takes work, and these relationships take work.
Mhm.
The advancement of our souls takes work. Even if you're a Blu-ray, it takes work. Everything takes work, but it's not a bad word. It's not a bad word. Work. But yeah. So I that totally, yeah, that totally aligns, and that resonates. With what I've been watching out there and what I've been going through as
Path for
well.
so long, I didn't even realize, you know, being on my own and just doing everything on my own, um and so those sensitive places are opening up, because I also think, women, we haven't been been in our full bloom of our
No,
true essence, of our sacred feminine, because how could we, how really, how could we in this world,
no,
um
there's no
and
way.
doing it by ourselves, doing it alone, and getting so used to doing it all on your own. And it really takes a balance not to, um you know lose that beautiful, quality of the sacred divine feminine that women are, because it's so required and it's so needed. And even in relationship, it's a beautiful thing, this this these qualities that we have, sacred masculine and divine feminine, and how we can relate to each other, and how we can be amazingly supportive,
Yeah,
uh in our purpose together. It's really
yeah,
an incredible thing, really an
yeah,
incredible thing.
yeah. I a couple days ago, it kind of came to me. These things we're all learning so quickly. It's just like it's warp speed. So a lot of things have been happening this month for everybody. But one of the things that I got, and I've been getting this since last year, and maybe even the year before that. But as we go through this journey, like you said a minute ago, when you expand, you're like, oh my God, I never saw that. I never saw that before. And so you have these higher epiphanies and revelations. But one of the things I got was, and it's not that I hadn't heard it before, and it's not that Morgan and I hadn't discussed it before. She brought it to my attention, was the to yield, to yield to the feminine energy, to allow the feminine energy. And of course, a lot of people get mixed up and they think, oh, male and female. We're talking energy here that typically aligns with the physical gender. We know that, because it's a totally different experience going through incarnations as a woman, as a man, physically has it, there's a certain impact. But anyway, what I got was to well, like with our mission, with Soulogy, um, with our relationship, with my direction with myself and my own internal relationship with the feminine, it was the time to, uh, allow the feminine energy to kind of lead the way, really, really, because if you look at our history, that's never occurred before. So, I think the patriarchal template has been exhausted of all possibilities, whether it be capitalism, communism, socialism, religiousism, or whatever the ism. So that's kind of where I'm at. Is like, if we're going to be a part of this transformation, then it just makes sense that the feminine energy has to rise, the masculine energy has to come down, and that if Soulogy is going to be a part of this transformation, then it needs to, be a part of the transformation, and part of the change, it needs to walk the talk, and that means, the people that are the caretakers of it. That means it's specifically me, in terms of the masculine coming down and allowing the feminine to lead the way. And it's taken me a while to get there, but I know that I'm not the only one. I know I'm a representation of primarily masculine energy and our masculine journey. And I think that this is starting to happen. I went to a gathering like we had in Sedona. We had a little gathering a couple of weeks ago, and I was amazed because there was about 35 people there. 15 of them were men, and and I felt like the universe was giving me a snapshot of what's happening. Women got up to that podium and started speaking incredible, inspirational, motivational stories. Their story. They were coming out, and the men were all like community frequency, soft. Like, what can I do to help? I mean, there was none of that stuff that I've seen at other conferences, and you know what I'm talking about because we've talked about it. But yeah, so I think that's to me, it was a really big, encouraging sign that I felt like the universe was giving me, like saying, "Hey, this is what's happening, and you're part of it, and Soulogy can be part of it." But that was a big deal to specifically for the masculine me to yield to the divine feminine energy, the incarnation in my life, and also the feminine within my own, my own in inner marriage. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Well, it's true. So, and like,
Thank you.
mm,
Thank you. Thank you, Todd.
mm,
Thank you. And thank you for the blessing of you and Morgan. And you were apart for 9 days. That's a lot. That's a lot.
mhm,
You're together now. Um,
mhm.
thank you for your sharing of your relationship and what you're doing. Not all of us can do that. you know that's part of your mission and your service and your purpose is I think is to kind of share with us
Yeah.
what's happening with male and the female, and with because you both share about your relationship and what it's like and what you're going through and through this ascension together, and to be on the path and to have a mission together and what that's like. And that's really important. And it's been a real it's been one really supportive, and empowering to myself and my
Mm,
relationship, and all our missions, to do that.
yeah.
um and I'm grateful for that, because where do we have that? I mean, we don't have that manual. We don't
I know. How do you how do you have a blue deva appear before you and sing? Well, the way it happens is somebody does it first. You know what I mean? Somebody develops that path, and then it opens it up
yes,
for someone else,
yes,
and the same goes for unions, and the
exactly.
same goes for any other type of expansion. Uh, this is so weird. Every time we do a show, there's always some kind of like the Rose Ray that came through the window that one
Yeah.
time, and Mother
Yes.
Mary coming out another time, and every time. And so, as you were talking about the Davis a while ago, the door swung open, and I know I shut it. That's why I kept going over there, because
You left.
right, and I started getting these chills, and now it's like it's raining. But I I don't want to run out of time because we have another show in a little while. But somebody asked to hear the song, and I just want to, like we can go like another 10 or 15 minutes if you want to, and talk
Yes.
about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, I want them to hear the song,
You
and
want
then
to let's do the song before. I was going to play it at the end of the show, but I'd rather do it so people can hear it. We can continue talking. Is that okay with you?
okay, yes, and you can get this on download. You can get this on Amazon and in Apple, and you can stream it. So please do, because when you do this, you're helping to bring that frequency to the world. You're helping to
Wow.
bring the language of light to the world. It's going to be through a lot of you to support, you know, this music, and to say, yes, we want this, and to help to bring this out to the world. And I also want to thank you. Thank you so, so much, everyone that supported me, the language of light over the years. I'm language of light. So
I think you are.
Leslie,
I
thank
think you are the first person. Here we go. This is Mejia. Is that how
Mejia.
you say it?
It's
Mejia.
Mejia. Uh-huh.
We are here. Fairies call to humanity. Language of Fae activation. Servants of light. Shekina Rose.
Mejia, you saw my day naka Hiroshima Nidosu Ayaneya Utahomeya Okoteya Osamateya Oyanaho Iya We are here, humanity. We are here. We call you back home. Humanity, to us Sunday. Oh, yana, yana, oh, yana. And today we speak your language. For we sing to you, Adoya Maleda, Ayana Haya Hidoya. Through the song, this song sings out through creation. Yanko so devotama ai ono hoyo. One with thee, one with thee. Yano hoyatamaya, umaya nateyaha. We honor the divine spirit within you. Kia sohamaya, kia sahomaya. We're here.
It's 111 people in the house. as we end the song. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, your mic's off. Your mic's off. Oh, you want me to unmute it? Yeah, I can unmute it. You hear that rain? Wait a
I think
minute.
I do.
There's something. The Davis are back. I'm not kidding, man. That the door swung open. It wasn't like a, it wouldn't happen right on cue. So, God, I was going to ask you. Oh, yeah, if you want to, we always, well, you do it. I mean, I guess I facilitate. I'm part of it, but you do it. I mean, we would love to connect energetically, because I know anytime we do anything, there's always plenty of family around. But if you'd like to, certainly, if you want to connect.
Yes. Let's do this. Let's tune in, and I've got the crystals, and they're really powerful. The Devix, our own Devix of our own self, and just start to tune in, because this is a time that lends itself to unity and connections and transcendence. So let's go into our higher heart. Just breathe and connect into this higher heart. This is this place, sacred and divine, and it's whole, and it connects us to our source of our true essence. And just connect into this place, the place where you are divine, the place where you are powerful, the place where you are connected to the power of light, and to the crystal and the grid and the unity and a pure, divine, powerful connection. So I just know that that is here, know that that exists, and allow that to happen through you. Allow that to happen through you, that divinity, that power. And as you allow that divinity and that power, your own essence, your own radiance, to just allow your radiance. It's time. There's no other time. There's no holding back anymore. Just to allow that throughout your essence. As you do that, you strengthen the power of the Lee lines of the unity source of connection to all beings, to all life, at a higher divine source place. And I just want us to be in this place and just know that it exists, your own essence, and how powerful that is, how important it is that you are who you are, and that you're alive upon this planet. We all depend upon you, because we're all connected together. You're important. You're so create alignment, this connection within your heart now. Feel it in your heart, and we're going to just connect it out into all the people, and it's going to light up, because the fairies, I call forth the fairies and the devas, the highest devas and fairies and the kingdoms of light power right now to do this. And we're going to help anybody right now that's sad, that's in a depression, that's not in a good way, that needs help and assistance. This light is going to them. This light is going out to them. It's going through you. You are the vehicle. You know you're the vehicle of heaven and earth. No matter if you're out there speaking or sharing, you're still it, and you're still important. So just feel that connection, feel the devas, feel the alignment going out to all of us. Send out and receive. Send out true essence and receive. We're unified. Our light, our love, it's strengthened. It's secure. It's divine. It's powerful. It's anchored now. We anchor it now within the crystalline structure of the earth, into all the lines, to all the earth, to all the sacred spaces. Everything is being lit up now, stronger and more light and more presence of the frequency. And you are supported. I am supported. We are supported. We are supported in this light. Whether we see each other or know each other or not, we're unity, connected now and always. Powerful, Todd. We're
Yeah,
powerful in our intention.
Yeah.
It's
I can-
real and it's true.
I know it is.
It's real and it's true. And we're beginning to see more of who we are. I know that I am, even though I know what I know. I'm experiencing more of who I am in the way that my real energy, that it's real and how it affects when I'm in alignment, my thoughts, my intentions, my energy, how real it is, how true it is. That's what's happening as well, as we're experiencing ourselves, more of our divinity and more of our power, and really seeing that what we do, what we think, our energies, how we're sending it out, how we're thinking, how we're being, how it's really shifting things, whether for the good or not. We're also being, that's the other component of this energy, is we're really, it's more of this, it's a revealing time where we're seeing more of the effects of what we do, of our energies. And it doesn't matter if you're by yourself and you think no one knows. Your energy matters. Your frequency matters because it affects. It affects the environment. It affects others. It affects your relationships. It affects wherever you go, whatever you do, wherever you are. It does affect. I'm seeing that as well, that we're getting to see experience ourselves more in our full expression of our energy, of our essence, of what we think, of how we feel, of what we're doing, that we're seeing results like quicker.
Yeah.
What we're doing. And that's an empowerment because it's real. We're doing a retreat. We don't have the
When?
date yet. We are doing a retreat at Enchantment.
What's enchantment?
Enchantment is the number one, Miamo is the number one spa in all United States. It's it's the most exclusive, most extraordinary, most beautiful sacred place.
Where is it?
And she works at Enchantment, and we are doing
Oh,
a retreat
It's in
together
Sedona.
with Keith Allen Kay in May.
Oh, wow.
We don't have a date yet. She's going to give me the date.
Very cool.
Have a retreat, and that is going to be incredible. Incredible.
Wow. That's cool.
Yes.
That's very cool. Keep me posted on that.
I
Let me know
will.
if I can help you in any way.
Thank
I love you. I'll see you
Love you.
later. Tell
Okay,
Kimberly, Keith K, the whole Sedona gang. Tell them I say hello.
I will.
Peace out.
Mejia, you saw